Hello and welcome to Traditional Stitches FlossTube video number 50. Can you believe that?
Yay! Yay! 50
Yeah.
is the magic number.
It is this year, actually.
Yeah.
It's my number this year, and
Yeah.
this is our FlossTube video number 50. I'm Janice Spencer, the owner of Traditional Stitches, and with me, as always, is Rose Heck, our stitch along leader. Hi, Rose.
Yeah. Hi, Janice.
How's your month been?
It's been busy. I've been doing a lot of driving, as we talked about before, and I'm done driving, and my husband is working up north again. And you had asked me earlier what I'm going to do with all my time, because I have 4 hours a day. I'm going to be doing a lot more stitching the next couple of weeks. So yeah, I'll be burning the midnight oil and maybe sleeping in.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like nesting to me.
It does a bit. I think I need that.
So, yeah, good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the most exciting thing that I did in the last month was I went to Portland for our shop owner retreat.
Right.
Where we stay at one lady's house and she pampers us, and we went to a winery this time, which was something we hadn't done yet. And it's not very far, just down the road. So hopefully we can do that again next year.
Yeah. Right.
Did a lot of stitching, and I'll show you what I worked on a little bit later. And good eating, and yeah, it was just a super recharging kind of a weekend.
Well, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, it was really great. And then I've been doing a lot of cleanup in my yard. That hailstorm that came through last week wiped out the vegetable garden and knocked a lot of branches off the trees and stuff. But thankfully, we didn't have any property damage, but not everybody else is in that same situation.
We didn't get hit with it, but we did here south of us get hit quite hard. And some of the photos on Facebook and that, the hailstones were quite large.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, we don't have to drive very far from our house to see like vinyl siding that is totally perforated with holes. It's incredible, and windows that were broken. And yeah, we got the emergency alert and found out in under 5 minutes that we can fit both the really big truck and my car and 3 dirt bikes in the garage. Which we hadn't tried that before. So
yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Well, that's good.
We scrambled for that, but
everything's
good except for my poor vegetable garden.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah. So in today's video, we're going to catch up on our Hands Across the Sea and Jonson stitch along. We're going to talk quite a bit about the upcoming Needlework marketplace and some things that are going on in the shop, and have our hand-dyed linen parade. And it includes lakeside linen this time, which we've never done before.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so Ann Jonson, how did it go?
Good. As you guys know, month 6 was a little stitch heavy because it was that over 1 verse. And I have the attitude of let's just get it done. So I don't know which was more difficult, the over 1 verse or all of the satin stitch. And I don't mind satin stitch. It's not that, but it just took a long time. So have you done it yet? Have you done this month 6? Okay.
No.
So I'm working on 46 count, and the over 1, I'm using the Swasserfine. So for those that get frustrated with over 1, have a couple different colors of the finer, like SWA 100 or Swasserfine in your arsenal to do that over 1, because it is a saving grace. Let me just grab it.
Okay.
So what do you want to see first, the stitching or the I'll show the stitching in a minute.
Okay.
So here. So that is what I've done in month 6.
Wow, well done.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of stitching. I probably did a little more than normal. No, I didn't. I think I did a little less just to get to the month 7. But this was stitch heavy, definitely. So I'm glad that's behind. And I don't I don't really grumble about over one. I think beforehand I dread it, and then when I started, I kind of go, oh, this isn't that bad. But for some of you,
Yeah. Okay. And so tell us about satin stitch. What was your magic trick there?
I think the same thing that I do before, because I'm working with SWA 103, and it doesn't have that nice plump coverage that SWA Delger has, or even DMC. It's more like working with a rope. So I definitely do 2 stitches in every hole, or 2 satin stitches. I don't use 2 threads and do it one time, because you would have to be using a laying tool or railroading every time. And that's the way I go about it. And if there's a spot that's a little bit thin after I do it, I'll go a 3rd time and just try to fill it in. So, but I'll do it at the same time. I won't go back around again.
Right. So that, I don't know if I can show it up here, is this nice rosy color that goes around the verse. That's just so pretty. So you definitely want that color to be a little bit more intense. I think I'll do 2 passes on that one too. I only did 1 pass on this grass.
Oh, did you?
Sawtooth border there. I just did 1 pass, but to me, it seemed like it wanted to be a little bit more subtle. So.
Okay, I think I did 2 passes on that sawtooth.
I think that's what you said.
They can, yeah. And I know the last time you mentioned about that you were going to try doing a padded satin stitch on that satin stitch border. So I tried that, and what that means is then you're doing, you know, from here to here, you're having really long. And I tried it, and because of the ropiness of the SWA Surfine, no, SWA 103, pardon me. I was seeing it underneath and I didn't like it.
Okay, well, good to know.
So yeah, I don't know, maybe it would need a lot more filling in, but I did the normal filling in, and it was, no, I just didn't like it. So I took it out, started again. So
well, I'm glad to hear that you experimented with it, because that's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, and I know some people will do a doodle cloth or work on the side and try that, and that works good too. I tend to just go straight to the meat of it and try it there.
Well, awesome.
Well,
I had to look back on last month's video to see if I actually even stitched on Ann Johnson's the last video.
Yeah.
And I think that I got a couple of motifs on this end.
Okay.
Maybe done.
Okay, for sure.
But you can see this great big blank area where my cartouche and verse need to go.
Yeah. But you're procrastinating.
Well, I need to get busy. And I'm like you next week, where I might have a couple of days where I'm batching it. So that means that I can actually set up and spread out. And
I was just looking to see. I think when I started this, just for landmark, I started with a satin stitch border a little bit, just to landmark my verse. I believe that's how I did it. And I may have worked along on the top back and forth, but I feel like I stuck mostly to the verse and got that in.
And then I did the satin stitch
right after. And the reason I know you do it a bit different. You'll go back and forth just so it's not such a mind thing. I tend to stick with one thing. I get into a groove, and I don't want to leave that, because if I have to go back afterwards, my mind tells me, you know, if I had stuck with this, I would have had it done or halfway done. That's how my mind works. So I have to stick with it. So it's funny how we all approach it differently. So.
Alrighty. So do you have the layout there again to point out this current month's assignment?
Yeah. So we're going to go to month 7, and it's not quite a mirror image of 5. I was looking at this little basket. It's a little wonky. It's going to be interesting to do it. It's it's going to be different. Plus these pretty flowers.
Yep. The basket has a little bit of a lean.
Yes, it does. Plus it looks like she decided not to put a bunch of berries in there, but just one straight yellow. Like I'm not sure what she was thinking. It's kind of funny. So
Yeah.
now, you know
Okay.
what? Actually, I was going to look at the chart because it almost looks like there's a different color there.
Oh yeah, it does look like there's a shade in the middle maybe.
And I got sidetracked. So where are we here? One more page. Okay, it's right there. Oh, yes. There is a color in there. So it looks like two yellows. And then in between, it's well, drab brown is what it's described as, kind of that mauvey color.
Okay.
So it will show, it just doesn't show here.
Okay.
So
Sounds good.
yeah.
Well, I need to get busy because my favorite sections, the parts that I'm looking forward to the most in this sampler, are coming up and I really want to get to them. So
that should motivate you.
yeah, exactly. So on our Facebook group, we've been seeing more and more finishes. And so that's really inspiring because Anne felt like a really big sampler when we started her. And these people that are knocking it off already and have it finished. So that makes me feel like it's an achievable sampler. So if you're thinking about joining us, if you still haven't ordered the chart or started with the project, it is achievable to finish by our stitch along end date, which is the end of or middle of February of 2025. But again, no stitching, please. If it doesn't get done, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I do want to make mention, we talked about it the last time about month 12 maybe being more stitch heavy. So I went back and looked at it and I took my original, this wasn't the original, I drew this in. I took these lines that go up here and I went across here and here. And I put it in the featured and I think the album. So if anybody is following along with this, that is the change. If you're not following along, disregard, but yeah.
I did see that. I think that was a post that was dated about July 22nd.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to go look for that. So that's awesome. Thanks, Rose, for doing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So we do still have kits available. We do still have a few thread beds available for our Anne Jonson sampler. Oh, look, mine is a mess.
Oh, it is. Kind of looks like art.
Okay, we'll go with that theory. Anyways, so yes, you're welcome to join us. We're having a lot of fun. Okay, Needlework Marketplace. Yep. So that is coming up in the last weekend of August, and it is a virtual online trade show for shop owners only. But fortunately, our designers are all sending us previews and all the details about their designs. So we've been uploading them to our website and to see them in advance so that then I know how much to order and get it coming to the shop for everybody. The other advantage of advanced orders is that we get to start on kits, so fabric, threads, and that means the orders are more complete and more ready to go when the charts get here. So we've seen a lot of previews. We've posted much of it on our website, but not all of it. And we just can't post all of them on our website. But so what we're saying is that if you see something that's caught your eye that we haven't got up yet, let us know, because we want to know what you're seeing that you like that might not be our normal thing, but we're always interested to hear that. So there's a direct link to the previews that we've posted on our website in the section below. And then we're saying that your advanced orders are welcome and recommended. For sure. From that. And then if it's not something that's on our website, just email us. We expect the charts from Marketplace to arrive to us about the middle of September, and then we'll have them ready to go straight back out to people. Diana's working hard, even right now as we speak this afternoon, adding some designers to the website whose previews we got over the course of the weekend. So if you check back now and you check back again tomorrow, what you're going to see there is going to be updated quite a bit. And so for markets like this, Rose and I generally, we don't put our heads together. We make lists in advance that neither one of us knows about, and we call it our top 5-ish. And that's because generally our choices are very similar. So we'll bounce that around as we go, hey?
Exactly.
But that's a lot of fun. So that's great. Okay, you go first.
We talked about this offline, and I says just everything from Scarlet House. However, I knew that wouldn't fly. The one I've seen, and it was, I think, a kit for a retreat, is Home is Where My Samplers Are.
Yeah.
And it's just a little pin pillow that I have adored ever since I first seen it about a year ago.
So that one is on my list too.
Yeah.
Don't you always want to stitch everything that says something about samplers on it, or something about the joy of the needle, those kinds of things?
Yeah.
Everything like that speaks to me.
I know, me too. And I just watched I think it was Sully Stitches, and she got it as a retreat piece about a year ago, and she finished it. And she said, I'm not a sampler stitcher, but I'm a stitcher. So she changed it to Home is Where My Stitcher. How did it go? Home is where the stitcher is, or I'm not, she must have worded it a bit differently, but it was cute. She says there was enough there. And so
cool.
It was nice to see she made it her own, but I really like that one.
Okay. Well, I can scratch that off my list.
Maybe I should ask you what Scarlet House one that you picked, because I decided only one just in case, but like I said, it could be all.
Okay, so mine that I liked is the Red Manor sampler.
Yes.
So it's the one that's not a reproduction, I don't think, but it's very symmetrical. It has a red house. It's not an over big project, but it has all of the elements. So that was the other one that was on my list.
Yeah. Okay. Did you have another Scarlet House one, or?
Other than the pincushion, no, but I do really like the reproduction samplers that she has released too. They're balanced and houses again. And
yeah. She has a real good eye. So,
yeah.
From the Heart, 1857 quilt block sampler.
Okay,
that was really
one
unique.
Of my faces, so.
That house looks like it's not complete or something. I couldn't quite tell with the picture, but it's really funky. I don't know. It's different. I like it. Is that on your list?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have 2 from the Hearts, and generally I try not to pick 2 from the same designer, but because it's my rule, I get to break it. So yes, so my 2 from the Heart designs, and I'll insert pictures of all of these as we talk about them, is Elizabeth's Autumn Basket. And so it's a sampler adaptation from one that's in Wendy's collection, and a little pin keep.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the other one that I really liked of hers that I have to stitch is the Rocky Mountain Quaker.
No, that isn't the one I saw. I've seen a different one, but yeah, I know which one you mean.
Yeah, since we live in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, and the colors are just beautiful. So that's going to be high up on my starting list.
Yeah. I remember that one. I went, oh, that really speaks to my Rocky Mountain heart.
Yeah, exactly. So those are designs from Needle Art by Wendy Petrus, from the Heart.
Yeah.
So
she's just getting better and better and better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that she was never bad.
When I was at the shop owner retreat a couple of weeks ago, Janine from Acorns and Threads finished the little version of the D Freitag sampler.
Oh yeah.
Remember how she did the big reproduction and then she did kind of an excerpt, and it's done in Gloriana silk thread, and the colors are just lovely, so pretty. So yep, Wendy's doing a great job.
Yeah. The next one, which is an original from Rosewood Manor, is Dove Moor, which is something different. I liked it. It was soft.
And that's
So,
one that the other thing I was going to talk about is the ones that we have the most advanced orders for so far, and that is one of those, that design. Yeah, so we'll put a picture in here.
The Artsy Housewife put out one, and she has a bunch that are good. This one I like, a Blue Moon. It's got such a unique bird. It's just really different. So I guess I like the birds.
Yeah, and the one that she did that's called Boom really appeals to me too. So
yeah, I know.
And her
It's got
design,
red something.
yeah. And then her designs are also in the top numbers of our advanced orders. So be sure to check those out. That's the Artsy Housewife. And she's a designer that we just picked up in Nashville of this year, and her designs have done really well. They've been super popular. So check it out. And do you have more on yours?
From Little Robin Designs, we talked, Jane, I can't read my printing. Treloar, Treloar. I think it is 1852. It's just a nice small sampler that's quite sweet. So
Little Robin is one that Diana is working on, hopefully this afternoon or maybe tomorrow morning.
Right.
So if you go to our website and have a look and you don't see it yet, just give it a few hours and it will be up there.
And the last one I have is from, which you don't have quite on yet, is Running with Needles and Scissors. And I had to listen to her twice because I never got the name. It's Milady Courting Conundrum. Yeah, and if you watched her latest video of her Nashville, not Nashville, her Needle Market releases, she talks about how they got the name, and it's quite funny. So, because it didn't come with a name or a date. So it's fun. It was a fun little sampler.
FlossTube Ketchup is on my agenda for next week when I have the house to myself for a few days too.
I hear you.
Yep. Okay, so I had one more that we haven't talked about so far, and that is from Jan Hicks, and it's called Let Flowers Grow. And it has a little yellow house on the top of it that looks exactly like the shop. So I had to pick that one.
Of course. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes. So, and like I said, we're getting lots of advanced orders for the Rosewood Manor, the Artsy Housewife. So that's awesome. Diana, I think specifically this afternoon, is going to be working on Kathy Barrick, Hello from Liz Matthews, Little Robin, Running with Needle and Scissors.
Needles and Scissors, yes.
Needles and Scissors, thank you. Since they go together so well, I can never remember what the order is. And then we still expect to see releases from Teresa Kogut, Primitive Hair, and more. So keep watching. And then, Rose, when you and I record our September video, we'll do another top 5 list of the ones that haven't been released yet that we'll see in the time between now and then.
Oh, good. Okay, because I know there'll be more coming.
Yes, there will be. Okay, so the direct link to the Needlework Marketplace listing is in our website below, or it's in the new products on our website as well. So some other things going on in the shop. The Just Nan band sampler called Magical arrived last week and flew right back out the door. We had advance orders for as many as they were able to send us, but we are getting more for the end of the, probably early September they'll arrive to us. So we're really suggesting that if that's a design that you felt you missed out on, that people go ahead and order that. This is Nan's first band sampler in about 10 years. And I remember when I first started stitching and getting into specialty stitches that Just Nan's band samplers, I did a few of them, and they were so fun and achievable, and her stitch diagrams are awesome. So that's exciting. And then last week we posted Brenda Gervais has 4 new releases, and they'll start shipping to shops next week. So it'll be a few weeks till they arrive to us. But they're all fall themed, and one of them is called Feels Like Fall and says, I love fall most of all. And that's definitely how I feel. So I'll be stitching that one.
Cool.
Yeah. With the hail that we got last week, it took out the flower beds and everything. So I've actually started already on my fall prep in my yard.
Oh, man.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have a choice. So
wow.
Yeah, so there's lots going on for the start of our busy fall stitching season. And, you know, when everybody gets kids back to school and back from holidays and everything and starts thinking about their fall and winter stitching, that's, yeah, I love that time of year.
Exactly.
And I didn't actually have it on my notes to talk about, but the Sampler September is also coming up.
Right.
So do you have any plans for that?
Soft plans. I have 2 that I was thinking of starting. And then this morning I was watching a FlossTube video and I thought of another one and it's like, okay, I don't know what so it is a soft plan at this moment.
Okay. Well, when we check in September, you'll have to tell me how firm those soft plans are.
And then again, I might just out the window and just work on whips. I don't know.
Yes, you were saying that you were feeling like you needed a finish in your stitch.
Yeah. I mean, I over the course of the spring and summer, I finished 14 Christmas ornaments, fully finished. All my grandkids have them, type of thing. Those are great finishes. They're mini finishes, but I tend to live off of something bigger. And I haven't had a finish for a while. I haven't done framing. So I've been concentrating on 2 that I'm trying to get done. So
you have to keep us posted on those.
Yeah, I will.
Okay. All right. So our hand-dyed linen parade. We're going to start off with, we just got a shipment last week from Tabby Cat. So our in-stock hand-dyed linen parade features fabrics that we have a good amount in stock of. And there's a link directly to that section of our website below where you can go ahead and order them. And that is just, that helps point you in the right direction if you need something soonish or want to add something to your stash soonish, rather than be in the order process. So Tabby Cat.
Okay.
So this is just the ticket. So it's a little bit golden. This one is 32 count. So sometimes that's the other thing is I tend to show higher count fabrics, but we do have them in some in 28 count, but some in 32 count. So just the ticket. And this one is one of the newer colors. This is Ashley Down. In 36 count.
Okay.
So really pretty, sploochy. Yeah, technical term. This is Wood Smoke. So it is a little bit kind of khaki almost.
Yeah.
What sampler did we do Wood Smoke on?
Esther Blackwood.
Right. Lucy Barber wasn't on Wood Smoke?
Good question.
Yeah, I think it might have been because Esther Blackwood we did on Vintage Pecan Butterfly.
I'm just, now I'm not sure. It's all kind of going like this. I remember what Ann Morrison was on.
Russian tea cake.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you're showing. I'm going to look it up.
Okay. This is 40 count Ashley Down.
Okay. What did Nicola put on Ashley Down? I'm trying to remember. Was it actually a Bristol sampler that she did, or somebody did?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. The Ashley Down has the same. This is 40. Oh, sorry. No, I can show you them side by side because this is what I was going to talk about. So Ashley Down and Creme Brulee, to compare them side by side. So Creme Brulee has a creamier background.
Yeah, it does.
And the sploochies tend to be a little bit of a red tone
Okay, okay. Huh.
as compared to the
Yep.
Ashley Duck.
Got
So,
that. Cool.
all right. This is cockle shell, which is just a really nice
Is that
kind of
newer?
golden. This is 46 count. It is a newer one, but not
Okay,
a
I
new
like
one.
that.
Yeah, it is really nice. Very versatile.
Yeah.
And then this is 46 count creme brulee. And this is the one, or another one, that I think I mentioned, and that she dyed a little bit lighter of a sploochiness for me because I asked for it, because
Yeah.
I want to stitch this Hands Across the Sea Sarah Milthorpe sampler on it,
Okay.
but I didn't want it to be as kind of sploochy. So this is what we have in stock right
Right.
now,
Right.
is 46 creme brulee is a little bit backed off.
Yeah.
And then this is 46 count Muddy Duck, which isn't that just a
Yeah,
yummy
I like
color?
that. That's another one I really like.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so I'm gonna show you
Okay.
some lakeside
Yeah.
linen.
So just to get back to the colors.
Oh yeah.
Esther Blackwood is vintage pecan butter. That was my mistake. Lucy Barber is wood smoke.
Oh, good.
So
It always
I
makes
know
me
when
feel
I
better
looked at
when
it, it's like after you had given me that kind of, I was like, oh, I think I'm wrong, but I can't remember what it is.
yeah.
So,
So many samplers, so many
I
details.
know, I know, I know. It's hard to keep it all up here.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some lakeside linens that we have in stock, but
Okay.
I have a rule. And my rule is, please don't send the shop an email that says, what lakeside linens do you have in stock? Because nobody has the time to type that all out.
Yeah.
What I want you to do, if you're inquiring about lakeside linens, is say, I am looking for 36 count lakeside linens in a wide quarter cut in a neutral samplery color. Or here is the list of my top colors of lakeside linens that I'd like you to check stock for me in 46 count in wide quarter cuts, because that we can work with. But otherwise, I'm going to just send you back an email that says, please include those details. So
Yeah.
because we do get lakeside linens. She sends us a really nice big box of linen about once a month, but we have so much advance orders for it that very little actually hits the floor in the shop. Most of it's pre-sold. So we always recommend that the best thing to do for lakeside linens is place an order for exactly what you want and just hang tight until it comes in.
Good.
And then we always fill orders from oldest to newest, and we don't charge you until it's ready to be sent. So that's your best bet.
Could somebody say, I'm going to be stitching Ann Jonson and I don't want the color. Can you pick a lakeside that would be compatible, or can they, give you a name of a chart that you have, and a lakeside that is compatible?
Yep, and we always do that, but
okay.
I'm going to say that we probably don't have a lakeside on hand that's going to convert for a lot of colors, especially 40 count and then next 36 count. So what my personal request would be, if I was asking a designer or talking to a startup designer, would be, go ahead and use whatever hand-dyed linen company you want to use, whose fabric you enjoy stitching on, but tell me the approximate DMC floss equivalent color that the piece that you're stitching the model is on. And then that way I can take the skein of DMC and go to my fabric shelves and pick the closest color to that in whatever count the customer is looking for. And I think that, considering how many hand-dyed companies there are on the market right now, and that this one's easier to get from than that one is, I think that's the way to go.
You do that on your website whenever you can, which I, as a consumer, really appreciate. If this is equivalent to 3782 or whatever. And there's another shop in the States that have done that on Instagram, and I really appreciate, not that I've purchased, but then it gives me an idea. So that is equivalent to this DMC color. So if companies did that more and more, the dyeing companies, That would
Yeah.
be really great. I know it
Yeah,
takes a little
because sometimes
time.
photography is really hard to match up to too, and then you just
Don't
have a
I
really
know?
good stepping off point for that. So
Exactly, exactly.
yeah, that would be my suggestion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay. Lakeside.
No more stalling. I want to see this.
Okay, I gotta
Lovely.
stretch because I got them sorted out. Okay, so this happens to be a very rare piece of 40 count maritime white that is a full yard cut. So Lakeside Linens generally produces their fabric in half yard cuts, wide halves, stitchers halves. But they will do custom cuts of linear halves, which are tall halves, the 18 by 55, or they will do custom cuts of a full yard. This is one that we ordered for a customer who canceled her order, if you can believe it. So now we have it. So this is a full yard cut of 40 count vintage maritime white. We have only one of them, and it will go to the first person who orders it, but we're not cutting it down. It has to go as a full yard cut. 36 by 55. Run, don't walk to our website to order that. Okay. So also in the 40 count, I have a few wide halves of vintage bisque, which is just a really nice white, kind of neutral, a little bit tan, a little bit creamy. And then if you like colorful linens, I wanted to show you these guys. So I have got 36 count bluegrass and 40 count vintage bluegrass to show you side by side. So we often get the question about the difference between regular lakeside and vintage lakeside, so I can show you. So this is the 36 regular, and this is the 40 vintage. So the vintage tends to be a little bit darker or more intense in color and more mottled, and I think you can see that.
Yeah,
there,
you can.
right? Vintage, regular. So, and just such a yummy color. So 36
It is
counts,
nice.
40. Yeah. Okay, better not mess up my tags here or I'm going to be in trouble. Actually, I'm not, because of the secret that we learned where the 40 count has the little black line in the selvage.
Right.
So I can't get too far wrong. Okay, 36 count. This is Magnolia. So it is a little bit yellow, but just such a pretty color. And then this one is this color always makes me happy. This is Sugared Ginger.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you think about it for Halloween design, like a Gloriana ink, India ink stitched on this for Halloween design or something would just be awesome. I use this color for Ink Circles Tapestry. It's the Ink Circles Metamorphosis.
Yeah.
It's got the Quaker medallions in the row across it. It's framed on the wall.
Oh, that's what you used.
Yeah, it's what's called for.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. You know, and that's funny because I was just going to say that would be a great color for one of the Ink Circles pieces, and I didn't even realize. Oh.
Yep.
Or a long dog.
And yes, for sure. Tracy from Ink Circles does have new designs for Marketplace, and they're on our website already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and then this is vintage maple sugar. So it reads a little bit purple mauve, kind of.
Yeah, yeah.
But a nice brown. And some 32 count, because we do have that. This is Magnolia, like I showed you in the 36 count, but just the 32 count version. This is a really lovely color, though we don't see very often. This is Vintage Tundra. Just a real dusty, sagey, and this is 32 count. This is the highly sought after Vintage Sand Dune in 32 count.
Yep. Yeah, one of my most faves. I love that one.
Definitely. And 28 count Vintage Lentil. Look at the nice vintage sploochy
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Just looks like an antique sampler coming out of the bag, right?
It
It's just
does. It's subtle, but it's there.
And this is vintage meadow rue. The only count that we have it in stock in is 28 count, but isn't that a beautiful piece of linen?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so those are in stock at the time of filming. So click your way to the special section that's in the description below to see all of those in person or on our website. And yeah, if you email us to ask about fabric, include all the details you can think about. We even like to know the design title and the stitch count and everything to help you out the best we can. And if you do get an email about a fabric from us, you likely get it from Marnie or Kathleen. For a linen that is out of stock and you're open to the idea of a substitution, just reply to the email and say that, and we'll do our best for you. And if we don't have something that we like, then we'll tell you that too. So Rose, you've been keeping up with Ann Jonson and finishing your Christmas ornaments. And so what are your stitching plans for the coming month?
I think we talked a little bit about I need to have a finish. I'm just, designing. Anne won't be done for a while. Pub won't be done for a while. I haven't worked out, and I have a few others that I've dabbled on. So I've got two pieces. One is a Hands Across the Sea that was in one of the red boxes, the first box. And the other one is an older Plum Street sampler that somebody gifted to me. It's not even available no more. So those both are, I'd say probably within the next 2 weeks we'll get done.
Oh, awesome.
And I have frames already for them. In fact, one of my pieces up there I'm going to take out and it fits my Plum Street better. And I've got another frame that will fit that. And then the red box sampler will fit in one that I found at an antique show. So sorry, they're just cutting grass in the park. So you might hear that over. So.
Okay.
Well,
that all sounds good.
That's kind of what I'm prioritizing the next couple of weeks. They should be done by the end of August.
Okay. Well, awesome. We'll watch your social media and see what you have to put there.
How about you? What's your
Well, I definitely need to get motoring on Ann Jonson. So yeah, that'll be next week, I think. But I'll show you the project that I was stitching on in Portland when I was there. And that is this.
Oh, yeah.
So this is Shakespeare's Peddler painted flowers on 40 count Black Swan Fox and Rabbit linen. So I was actually quite impressed that I could see in just sitting around kind of a scenario to stitch on 40 count linen. But it's mostly DMC with just one skein of weeks, and there's a lot of color changes in there.
Yeah.
But it was fun, and it motored along, and this is what it will look like when it's grown up. It's going to be a pincushion. So I just couldn't resist those autumny, tangerine-y kind of colors on the black linen.
Is that a pomegranate or a tomato? Must be a pomegranate. I don't know. It looks like a tomato, actually.
Yeah, it might be a tomato because it's got the green kind of coming down on the side. I wouldn't know because my tomatoes got so beaten up in that hill, they're not recognizable.
It reminds me a bit of a watercolor. I mean, it has a lot of different color changes, but pretty effective.
Yeah, I was enjoying that, so I want to get back to that too.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, I'm going to the attic.
Oh,
I'm going to summer school.
Oh,
yeah.
You have room in the suitcase for me?
Possibly on the way down, but definitely not on the way back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'm good for you. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I haven't been to summer school before. I think there's something insane about this Canadian girl going to Arizona in August because it's supposed to be in the 40s all the time that we're there.
But I think it was you, someone else said you go from the airport air conditioning to an air-conditioned cab to an air-conditioned hotel to an air-conditioned building, and you never are really outside.
No, that's exactly true. So Yeah, Jean's staff at the attic are awesome, but for an event of this size, she needs to import a little bit of help. So I get to take the classes, but I'll also be behind the fabric cutting table when the shop's open.
Okay.
So that's what we're going for.
Lucky her and lucky you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty special to be able to do that for her. So, and just all of us shop owners to be together. So looking forward to that.
There are quite a few shop owners that are going, I gather, to help out.
Yeah. So Kathy from Needle in a Haystack,
Mhm.
and Janine, who owns Acorns and Threads, and Roz, who is the past owner of Acorns and Threads.
Right.
And then Deb, who has had Stitchville USA, which closed earlier this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll all get to hang out, and Jean's got quite a star-spangled list of other attendees as well. So it'll be a really great weekend.
Good.
So I leave on Wednesday and I come home on Sunday.
Oh, okay. So 2 more sleeps,
Mm-hmm.
and then away you go.
Yep. Yep.
Cool.
It'll be really great. Can't wait.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, so then I'll tell you about that in our next video, which I had a quick look at the calendar, and I think it's going to be Friday the 13th of September, I think.
Okay. Now, I haven't looked that far. Well, I shouldn't say that I have. I have.
So
Yeah,
we'll put our
there's
heads
a couple
together and
things
make
that
sure
week that are on my calendar, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Well, thank you for your time again.
Thank you.
It's always nice to get a chance to catch up.
I know a month goes by and it's like, hey, what's happened in each other's life? So
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll see you soon.
See you soon, Janice.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.